The year was 1914, and the world was on the brink of a conflict that would redefine nations and reshape borders. Known to history as World War I, this was a war marked by trench combat, technological advancements in weaponry, and a level of destruction previously unseen. In a small town in France, a young man named Pierre Dupont worked as a blacksmith. The war was a distant concern, something discussed in hushed tones in the evening as the local news trickled in. But as the conflict grew, his village became directly involved. Pierre was drafted into the French army, leaving behind his elderly mother and a blossoming romance with a local schoolteacher named Marie. In the trenches, Pierre made friends with men from different walks of life. Jean, a Parisian artist, Louis, a farmer from Provence, and Henri, a writer with dreams of publishing novels after the war. Their camaraderie provided a fleeting respite from the horrors surrounding them. The conditions in the trenches were dire, with mud, cold, and constant threat of enemy fire. Letters from Marie kept Pierre sane. Her words were a tether to the life he hoped to return to. In one significant battle at the Somme, Pierre's unit faced relentless bombardment. The deafening sounds of artillery, the cries of wounded soldiers, and the overwhelming stench of gunpowder defined these harrowing days. Jean, the artist, was severely injured. Pierre carried him to a medic's tent, a journey that seemed endless amidst the chaos. Jean's last words to Pierre were to revisit Paris and finish the painting he had started before the war. The war dragged on for 4 years, and by the time it ended in 1918, the world had changed irrevocably. Pierre returned to his village, scarred by what he had witnessed but grateful to be alive. Jean never made it, nor did many of those he had shared the trenches with. The village of his youth bore its own scars, with many residents lost, homes destroyed, and a haunting silence that had replaced the once vibrant community life. Pierre and Marie's reunion was bittersweet. They married in a small ceremony, both having lost too much to celebrate openly. Pierre took up blacksmithing again, but he also honored Jean's last request and traveled to Paris. Standing in front of Jean's unfinished painting, Pierre felt a sense of closure. He couldn't bring Jean back, but he could remember him and the dreams they had shared. Pierre added the final brush strokes to the canvas, transforming it into a tribute to those who fought and fell. Life in the post-war period was about rebuilding and remembering for Pierre and many others. The experiences in the trenches would forever live on in their memories, shaping who they became and reminding future generations of the cost of conflict. The blacksmith from the small French village became a storyteller, recounting tales of bravery, loss, and the unyielding human spirit to anyone who would listen, ensuring that the past was not forgotten.